Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Awards Gambit. I hope everybody had a fabulous holiday season and that their 2024 is off to a good start. Today, I'm going to be sharing my predictions for the winners of the 2024 Golden Globe film categories. This will be the 81st Annual Golden Globe Awards, and you can watch them this Sunday, January 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on CBS, and they'll also be streaming on Paramount Plus. They will be hosted by comedian Joe Coy, who I had never heard of before they announced him as the host, but I guess he did some work with Chelsea Handler, and they also dated briefly a few years ago. So that's a little tidbit about him. There are a lot of really exciting movies and celebrities nominated, and some great races here, so why don't we get started with the predictions? Up first, I'm going to talk about Best Motion Picture Drama. The nominees are Anatomy of a Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, and The Zone of Interest. I don't really think there's much of a race here. I think Oppenheimer is definitely going to win this category. It was one of the biggest movies of the year. It did really well at the box office, and it was a tremendous feat written and directed by Christopher Nolan. So I'm predicting Oppenheimer, and I think it's going to be a great win on Sunday for sure. Up next, we have Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Motion Picture Drama. The nominees are Annette Bening for Naiad, Kaylee Spaney for Priscilla, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, Greta Lee for Past Lives, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, and Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall. This is definitely a great race here between Lily Gladstone, Sandra Hüller, and Carey Mulligan. I feel like most people are predicting Lily Gladstone to win. She's won a lot of critics' performances. She's definitely the heart and soul of that film. But I'm going to go for a little bit of an upset here, and I'm going to predict Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall. I feel like people who saw that movie really loved it, especially her performance. Did really well with Golden Globe nominations. It's a great legal drama, great courtroom drama. And I feel like Lily and Carey both have some setbacks to their performances, whereas Lily's performance is essentially supporting. She really doesn't have a ton of screen time compared to Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, so that might push her back. And Carey Mulligan gave a really great performance in Maestro, but I feel like since it hit Netflix, people haven't really been enjoying it as much as was expected, so Maestro is definitely going down a bit. So that's why I'm predicting Sandra Hüller, and that would be a great win. And I'm excited to see that movie when it comes to streaming or it comes back to theaters. For Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, the nominees are Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers, Barry Keoghan for Saltburn, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, and Leonardo DiCaprio for Killers of the Flower Moon. I've narrowed down this race to Bradley Cooper and Cillian Murphy. I would love to see Bradley win here and at the Oscars just because I love him as an actor. He's so overdue for awards recognition, and I personally enjoyed his performance. But like I said about Maestro, I think the movie's popularity has definitely gone down since it came out on Netflix, whereas Oppenheimer has been able to maintain its hype for several months. And so I'm going to predict Cillian Murphy for his phenomenal performance as J. Robert Oppenheimer. And that would also be a great win on Golden Globes evening on Sunday. For Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, the nominees are Air, American Fiction, Barbie, The Holdovers, May December, and Poor Things. This is a pretty stacked lineup. I'd say this year was very strong for comedy films, but I'm going to go ahead and predict Barbie because it was such a phenomenon. It got a record number of nominations. It's the most popular film here, and I think it's going to take this one pretty easily. For Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, the nominees are Alma Poisty for Fallen Leaves, Emma Stone for Poor Things, Fantasia Barrino for The Color Purple, Jennifer Lawrence for No Hard Feelings, Margot Robbie for Barbie, and Natalie Portman for May December. This is an iconic lineup of actresses filled with four A-list movie stars, three of which have won the Oscar for Best Actress, an American Idol winner, and a surprise nominee from a foreign language film. I really love this lineup. As much as I'd love to see Margot Robbie win her first Golden Globe, and especially for her amazing role in Barbie, I'm going with Emma Stone for Poor Things. What she did in that movie was so incredible. She doesn't miss a beat in that film. I feel like her performance is so undeniable, and I'm predicting her to walk away with this award. For Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, the nominees are Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction, Joaquin Phoenix for Beau is Afraid, Matt Damon for Air, Nicolas Cage for Dream Scenario, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, and Timothée Chalamet for Wonka. This race is definitely between Paul Giamatti and Jeffrey Wright, but I'm going to pick Paul Giamatti. I feel like everyone loves his performance in The Holdovers. I think he really knocked it out of the park. He certainly gave me all the feels. He's won multiple Golden Globes before, including in this category in 2011. So I'm definitely going to go with him. For Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Supporting Role in Any Motion Picture, the nominees are Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers, Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Jodie Foster for Nyad, Julianne Moore for May December, and Rosamund Pike for Saltburn. I think this category is still a bit up in the air since Lily Gladstone made the jump to lead actress a few months ago, but I'm going to go with Divine Joy Randolph here because she has been sweeping critics award and she really is the heart of that movie. She also made me feel all the feels, same way Paul Giamatti did. So I think she's definitely out front, but honestly, I could see any one of these other women winning because these are all iconic performances and it's somewhat of an open race here. For Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role in Any Motion Picture, the nominees are Charles Melton for May December, Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, and Willem Dafoe for Poor Things. I've narrowed this list down to Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, and Charles Melton. I think a lot of people are either predicting Robert Downey Jr. or Ryan Gosling, but I'm going to go with Charles Melton for the upset. Coming out of that film, I feel like everybody was buzzing about his impeccable breakout performance, and he totally held his own opposite two Oscar-winning actresses. He's doing really well with Critics Awards, and my gut says that he's going to win, so I'm going with my gut and predicting Charles Melton for the win here. For Best Director Motion Picture, the nominees are Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Celine Song for Past Lives, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Greta Gerwig for Barbie, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, and Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things. I think this category is a done deal. I have Christopher Nolan winning. Everything he did with Oppenheimer, especially all of the technical feats of the film, considering that, plus the fact that he's overdue, I feel like it's his time. I think he is absolutely taking this award, and I think he's going to take the Oscar for Best Director too. For Best Screenplay Motion Picture, the nominees are Past Lives, Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Barbie, Anatomy of a Fall, and Poor Things. This category is a little bit harder to predict because I feel like all of these films have strong screenplays and it's not split into original and adapted like a lot of other award shows are. But I'm going to go with Barbie here. Barbie was co-written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. Like I said before, Barbie was a phenomenon. It crushed it with nominations. I really enjoyed the screenplay, and I feel like everyone would love to see Greta and Noah up there accepting this award, and hopefully eventually one of the screenplay Oscars too. For Best Motion Picture Animated, the nominees are The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Suzume, The Super Mario Bros. Movie, and Wish. This category definitely comes down to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and The Boy and the Heron, but I'm predicting that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse will take this award. It came out early last year to rave reviews. It also got two other nominations here, and the first movie won back in 2019, so I'm gonna stick with Spider Man Across the Spider Verse. For Best Motion Picture Non English Language, the nominees are Anatomy of a Fall, Fallen Leaves, Io Capitano, Past Lives, Society of the Snow, and The Zone of Interest. 2023 was a great year for foreign language films. This is such a strong lineup, but I'm going to go with Past Lives. Past Lives was such a great film. It did really well with nominations here. Much of the film is in Korean, but it is an American film, so it is not eligible for the international feature category at the Oscars. But I think it'll win this category the same way Minari did a few years ago, because Minari was also not eligible at the Oscars because it was an American film spoken in Korean. But I think that if Past Lives doesn't win this category, I think it could also go to Anatomy of a Fall or The Zone of Interest. For Best Original Score in a Motion Picture, the nominees are Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Poor Things, The Boy and the Heron, Oppenheimer, The Zone of Interest, and Killers of the Flower Moon. I personally liked a lot of the film scores from last year. I was sad to see that Past Lives did not make it in here. But for this category, I'm predicting Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's score is composed by Ludwig Göransson, and the music throughout the whole 3 hours of the film really added to the intensity of the movie. It just elevated the film that much more, and so I think this is going to be another award that Oppenheimer walks away with. For Best Original Song in a Motion Picture, the nominees are Addicted to Romance from She Came to Me, Dance the Night from Barbie, I'm Just Ken from Barbie, Peaches from the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Road to Freedom from Rustin, and What Was I Made For from Barbie. This category is tough for me because I said this before, but I feel like Billie Eilish has been winning too many awards. She just won this category 2 years ago for No Time to Die. She's so popular right now, and that song is very well liked. So I'm going to predict that What Was I Made For is going to win here. No hate on Billie Eilish. She's a very talented performer. I just would like to share the wealth of it and see somebody else win this award. I am personally rooting for Dance the Night by Dua Lipa because that song slaps, and so if that somehow upsets, I will be more than happy to be wrong here. But I'm going to stick with What Was I Made For now. And for the last category here, we have a brand new category for Best Cinematic and Box Office Achievement. The nominees are Barbie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, John Wick Chapter 4, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, and the Super Mario Bros. Movie. A lot of great mentions here, but I gotta go with Barbie. That movie shattered the box office. It was such a moment when that movie came out. People were dressing up in pink and Barbie attire to go see it. It was the highest grossing film of 2023. I just have to pick it, and I think it definitely deserves that recognition here. So that concludes my predictions for the 2024 Golden Globe winners in the film categories. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what you think about these picks, and feel free to let me know some of your hot takes. As always, stay tuned for more content. We've got a lot of award shows coming up. I'm hoping to do some final predictions for the Emmys, which are right around the corner, so keep an eye out for that. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, email those listener questions to awardsgambit@gmail.com, and tell everyone you know to check out this channel. I really appreciate your guys' support, and I hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time on the Awards Gambit.